again, Mr. J. We're live on Friday night here at Financial Fridays.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh
we are live on Financial Friday. Thank you again for tuning in. This is certainly an exciting season for us here at Financial Friday because we are rising out of financial slumps and we are thriving in financial freedom. I'm your host, Dr. A.D. Burns, and this is my co-host, Brother Minister Sergeant James Jones. How you doing, Mr. J?
Pastor, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. But let me do what I like to do. I want to say hello, everyone, and good evening to all my grinders. Oh
All
yeah,
right,
let's go get it.
all right. Where the grinders in the house. Let me go. Let me pull up one of these lives out here.
Oh yeah.
Um, all the grinders. That's a powerful statement, even though you say it, kind of nonchalantly. That's a powerful statement when you say grinder. And every now and then I ask you this question, for the benefit of our listeners or our viewers, and that question is, what is a grinder?
I think the best way to sum for grinder each and every time is a person who's willing to do what it takes in order to get the results that they're looking for. So if it's sweeping the floor, then you want to be so good at sweeping the floor that you can get all the crumbs up. If you are a dishwasher, you want to be so good that they don't need a machine because they got you there. But if it's your vision, like seamstress, then you don't need a sewing machine because I could do it by hand if I had to, because I'm willing to do what it takes in order to get the results that I'm looking for. Because I'm grinding through what I gotta do to go to
Woo!
where I need to go.
Oh
Oh
boy, you talk right there. I'm gonna have to write that one down. Willing, that sounds like a T-shirt. Willing to do what it takes.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Grinders. We just not in America. We international. There's some international grinders out there that
okay,
getting it in. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I contracted Now You're Talking Tees to create us a merch store with some Financial Friday shirts, hoodies, mugs, hats, caps, different things, and so they're going to start working on that for us. And I reached out this week, and so I'm excited about that. We're going to have us some merch, so I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
have to
I'm good
start
with that.
capturing some of these sayings that you spitting out there, you know. But a grinder is someone who's willing to do what it takes. Yeah,
Yeah.
and sometimes doing what it takes is not a walk in the park, is it?
No,
Yeah.
no. You always got a lot of hardships that you got to go through, but people don't understand that just because you're smiling, it doesn't mean that you're not going through hardships. It just means you understand that that's part of the cost to do what you got to do. I mean,
Okay.
if you're trying to get oil, yeah, you got to go through a bunch of hard dirt and you got to get through a bunch of rocks.
Hmm.
But the goal
Yeah.
isn't to stop at the hard dirt. The goal is not to start at the hard rocks. The goal is to get the oil.
Yeah.
So even though you hit a hard surface, you still got to get through it because
Mhm.
you're grinding it through.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's get deep just for a half a minute. We'll get deep just for a half a minute, because there's two terms they have. It's called primal, and then it's called power. And so a lot of times, what people they're responding out of the primal. A primal is the flesh is out of their fears, is out of their their limited beliefs, if you will. And a lot of times, when people are moving from there, they're safeguarding themselves from success, and so they're not willing to take any type of risk, and they want to keep themselves safe, you know. And so that person is hard for them to be a grinder. But then you have the other side of that, which is power. That person is usually more intentional about their decisions, and they're going based a lot of times on vision. What they see, and they're going after it without allowing the risk to outweigh the reward of vision. What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah. The crazy part, I had a whole slogan for that.
Okay.
So primal is people who's playing not to lose, but it's hard to win when you're playing not to lose. And that was gonna be that's the slogan for everybody out there that want to play. You're playing not to lose. It's hard to win when you're playing not to lose. So if you think that's you out there and you like, well, I got to do this now. I'm not saying set up cautionary boundaries. I'm not saying reduce the risk. I'm saying when you start playing the game of life just so you don't lose, you often don't win.
Okay.
And it's because you set yourself up to lose. Because you got to take risks in order to be accomplished. You got to go through hardships in order to be successful and to be determined. Because no one knows how strong they are until you go through your test. Until you go through your trials and tribulations, you don't even know what you can handle. Oftentimes, if somebody is running from the first trial, they not even fit to take on trial number 99. They not even fit to take on trial number 5 because they got to get through the first hurdle before you can get to the last hurdle.
Yeah.
And we out here to run a race. So we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah. Now, what would be the for the purpose of my merch collection here, or our merch collection, playing not to lose versus what? What's the opposite of playing not to lose?
Playing only to win.
Okay.
Or playing only option A.
Playing only option A.
Your only plan is only option A. Now, there's a guy that did The Pursuit of Happiness. I forgot. I want to say his name is like Richard Garney or Garner.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's right.
And what his philosophy was, there is no plan B. And I understand that philosophy because when you believe you have a safety net, you oftentimes restrict yourself to playing against the odds. But when you have no safety net,
Okay.
when everything you do can either make or break you, you often overachieve because you have no safety net.
Wow.
And when you play without a safety net, no, everything you do is real.
Mm-hmm.
Another person like that is Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is the person that comes to mind because he didn't have anything else. Well, what else did he have when he first started? He was already homeless. He was already living on the streets. What else did he have? Well, then he didn't have a safety net. Either he's going to make his plays work or he wasn't.
Okay.
And when you play without a safety net, you strive that much more to make sure everything works. Mm-hmm. Another person that I actually read his book, I talk about him a lot. His name is Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, I thought you were getting ready to say Dr. A.D. Burns, man. I was, oh man, shoes, man. I was almost in there. I was about to reach for some tissue, and then you just, all right, whatever, just go ahead.
Robert Kiyosaki went homeless for I think 6 years or 6 months. He was homeless just so he can save up enough money. That means him and his wife was living out of a car just to make sure they could put enough money together to buy their first rental property or their first investment property. When you take that kind of philosophy or that kind of idea, you end up overachieving because you have no bottom. Okay. If you fall, you will be splatting on the road. So you are always trying to make sure you jump through all the hoops. You're making sure you make all the phone calls. And the same is true even now. When I was younger, I was a lot more aggressive than I was now.
Okay.
I'm making bigger deals now, but I was a lot more hungrier when I was younger. Mm-hmm. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm taking whatever job. I'm working as many hours, and I'm making sure whatever I got to build the company, I was doing just that to make sure the company was growing, to make sure the company was bigger. And once the company got to a certain range, then I can start putting braces in to make sure that what I have created now won't fall back.
All right.
And I think everybody needs to do that because it keeps you sharp. Okay. So once I got one company up and running, I went right back down into grinding, and I started going back again to try to build up another company. That means trying new ideas, falling short and succeeding because you're trying everything, and you're allowing your mistakes to push you even further to you're allowing your mistakes to push you to your success. Yeah. So that it was fun out there. It's fun.
And so thank you those of you who are just tuning in. I see we got quite a few tuning in. I'm trying to get all my platforms up here, but I'm not having a lot of success with that. But thank you for those of you who are tuned in tonight. We've been talking about what a grinder is, and being able to understand that a grinder is someone who's willing to do what it takes. And that's a good segue for us to lean into. We are on our 90-day challenge. We started a 90-day challenge on last week on the road to six figures. So this year is all about six figures. So we're on the road to six figures. And so before we could begin uh, looking at six figures, the first thing we have to do is we have a challenge. There are certain foundation principles that we must abide by. You can't be out there on the road to six figures with no guidelines. And so the 90-day challenge is about helping you to get in shape, to create some new habits, some healthy habits, so that you can be successful. We want to hear some testimony, some six-figure testimonies at the end of this year, and we'll take some five-figure testimonies. We'll take some testimonies of you being further now than where you were before. And so James and I, in order to give us direction for this 90-day challenge, we created a book. And so we're going to put that on the screen there. And I believe they'll drop a link in there for you. The book is $20. It's a workbook. And it's called On the Road to Six Figures. Let me see. Here it come right here. Boom, there it is. So it's called On the Road to Six Figures, a 90-day challenge. And so that's what we're on now. We're on this 90-day challenge. And so if you don't have that workbook, you can go online there. I believe it's at, what is it, James? Is it payhip.com or something?
Yeah, it does say payhip.com. If you click the link, it's payhip.com/Bravo or B/YSM70.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of slashes and forwards.
Or you can click the link. If you listen to me, click the link.
All right. I see him just dropped it in the comment. Just click the link get your book.
Click the link, get the book, get on your way to getting it done. Because we do want to have, I'm personally looking for about 5 people. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I'm looking for 5 people to get it, do it, and excel at it. So yes, I am definitely looking for people.
So let's just review real quick and get into our today's lesson. So in the book we got, of course, the table of contents, but the introduction is a 3-part introduction. It talks about the challenge, the purpose of the challenge, and then it also talks about what to expect. And so we want you to read those. And then that third part talks about the mindset of success. And so it's a mindset that you have to have. And so that's what we're trying to create with you, a thought pattern. The Bible says that we have to renew our minds. All right. And so last week, our challenge was laying the foundation. And so in laying the foundation, we were talking about vision, we were talking about mindset, and we were talking about faith. And so I like Robert Collier's quote. He says, success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. And that's something that, James, you say all the time: small increments, small steps. And why is that important for us to realize?
Because I think people often think that what they're doing is hard, or people think or see somebody's excelling and they're like, well, how is that person doing so well? It's like the person going to high school and we all like most likely to succeed. And then you get to the end of it, you get to your reunion, your 40, your 20-year reunion, you're like, well, I thought he was going to succeed, but he didn't. Well, what's the difference? The difference is those small incremental details. So is going to school going to get you to where you need to be? Not necessarily. When you get to where you need to be is because you're changing your life to get there. Now, if we want to go spiritual, just to go spiritual.
Okay.
When you get saved, you are not at the end. You're at the beginning. You just started. So what changes? The Holy Spirit comes in, talks to you, and moves you. So now when people see you 20 years from your baptismal, then they're like, man, you different. You ain't fighting, you not running around. You are, you look, you portray, you are a new person. Just because you jump in the water and come out, you're new spiritually, but it went into those habits become small, and then they become disappear, and then you build in new habits. And you're not doing that randomly or in big chunks. You're doing that in small incremental steps. If you were smoking and you want to stop smoking and you want to stop drinking, you do that in small incremental steps. If you want to lose weight or get stronger, you do it in small incremental steps. Because when you do large quantities and be like, I would never drink another drop. Well, if you drunk like a fish and now you're saying I would never drink another drop, you're relying on a whole lot of the spirit to come to one, hold you up and then get you from point A to point B. Or, right? Or the Holy Spirit is telling you, don't go there. Don't do this. Don't do that. Come here. Go home. Go to church. Because by doing that and leading you in the right direction, oftentimes, if you're not at the bar, you're not drinking. If you can come home, if you can spend more time at church, if you can have new association with friends, all those small adjustments allow you to further on what you're doing, and you'll come up with a better journey.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And so, with that being said, it is so important for us to have a vision as to where we're going. And so, on the first week laying the foundation, we talked about the importance of having a vision board.
Yeah.
Something that gives you direction, something that helps you to see what you're grinding for. And so, I showed you my vision board. Let me put it together here. Okay, you see, boom. So I showed you my vision board. So on my vision board, it could be one with God. Over here, it talks about being one with God. On this side, it talks about being healthy. On the bottom, it talks about having a healthy relationship. And then you see that one right there, right?
I see
That
the
one,
car.
you see a car. I always got a car on my list. But this one right here, you see that one, right?
Yes.
You
Six
see that
figures.
thing? You know what that is. So that's on my vision board, and so you have to take time to create a vision board to help you to see and visualize where you're going. I remember in the Bible how Jacob, was it Jacob that took the cows and had them looking at these things on the fence, and the cows mated and they began to birth spotted cows.
Yeah.
And so vision is so powerful. And so, James, I see you got vision all around you.
Yeah.
Is that your vision board?
So these are my vision boards from this year and last year. So if you look right here, that's the Declaration of Independence, because you always want to make sure that you have a constitution to start by. My Declaration of Independence comes from the Bible, but I want to make sure I'm always solid and fluid at the same time. So your declaration gives you the structure or give you the bones of the matter. And that's why I always write plans and I always like reading the declaration. Above me is a year ago. So that was more houses, working on my best life, getting things together, because people don't know this, but I buy houses. That's what I do. So then on my board is another house that I had to buy. To the right of me or your left was a apartment complex that we had to go buy on my vision board. And then the two biggest things was, I don't know if y'all can see this, but it's called franchising. Let me see if I can move it a little closer. So franchising. So the big thing for this year is, well, buying a plane isn't the big thing. One of the biggest things that I want to do this year is learn how to use silver, gold, and I want to make sure I buy a bank or a financial institution that I can parlay. And the plane is merely a celebratory gift to myself. So once we do that, another thing, if you can see it, is that this is a bank. and this is a bank. These are not houses; these are banks. Because in my vision for this year, we want to partner with banks or financial institutions in order to start bringing more money to the community. Because everything I do isn't just about me; it's about the community, and not just about the community of my family, but the actual community that I live in, and the different communities that the companies that I own serve. So it's
Right.
just a whole lot
Okay.
of stuff that we always doing.
Well, listen, after I seen your vision, I'm gonna take mine and throw mine away. He, you know, he talking about planes and banks. I got to throw my. I'm gonna have to go back to the starting board on this one. Where my paper at?
Uh, oh. So let me do. We also do the basketballs up there because we always like to sponsor different people out there. So the basketball is just one image of sponsorship. So we're big on sponsorships because we like the youth. So public speaking, not public speaking, but talking to conferences, getting kids involved.
He went out on me. That is an incredible vision, vision board. He'll be back on. That is very exciting, and I did throw mine away. Mine's over here. I was just messing around with y'all because whatever your vision is, large or small, is still valuable. And so don't go try to connect and keep up with the Joneses. Literally, keep up with the Joneses.
No,
Miss
no.
Jackie, good evening. I see you out there. Miss Jackie is with us, and
So
I don't have all my platforms up on, but I see some numbers throughout the platforms. And so, to all of you out there, God bless you. If we didn't see you, so what an incredible vision that you have, and let me say this: as a result of putting your vision in front of you, are you able to see those things come to pass?
yes, that's one of the biggest things that I can say is that as I see my vision, those they direct my decisions because I want to be able to support a community. So my decisions are based on supporting a community. I
Hmm.
want to have I want to have more control over the financial institutions that are in different communities. So I'm on my board. So that's what I'm looking at. So when I am talking to different banks or other credit unions, that's one of the big things that I'm talking about is how do we parlay what I'm doing
Hmm.
to other people? Because it's not just about one person making it, it's about other people making it. And if I can have the ability to open up a door, I don't want to open the door for just me and my kids or me and my family. I want to open the door for me and my community. So that's why everything is so entrenched
Now
in.
that's awesome. Hey, Demetra, I see you out there. That's so awesome because those are. Let me just kind of jump ahead a little bit. Those are. Let me get over there. Boom, 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 boom. It's coming. It's coming. Um, there you go. I just passed it. Those are characteristics of a kingdom paymaster. Those are characteristics of a kingdom paymaster because a kingdom paymaster is someone who is availing themselves to be a conduit for God to use to bless other people and to fund kingdom projects. And so that's awesome that you have a vision big enough for God to get involved in. A lot of times our vision is too small for God to get involved in. And so oftentimes we're looking for God to do some things that are only going to happen when you stretch out and think exponentially. All right. And
Yes.
so your assignment was to create your vision board. And so for those of you who did do your vision board, we asked you to take a picture of it and upload it and drop it in the chat. And so if you did your vision board assignment from last week, we want you to take a picture with your phone or whatever, and then we want you to drop a picture of your vision board in the chat, whatever chat you on. Now, I'm not on all of the platforms, so I may not be able to see all of yours. Hey, Corey is with us tonight. How you doing, brother Corey? Thanks for tuning in. So we want you to drop your vision in the chat there, because we on the road to six figures, and we're taking this road together. And so each week, as we get our assignments, we want to complete those assignments so that we can be on that road together. All right. And so you cannot do the assignment and be in expectation for the six figures.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so we're laying the steps out to you, and so you have to take the steps. All right. And so let's get into the night's lesson, because the night lesson is going to be is exciting to me, because this would change my life. And so for the next 2 weeks, starting tonight, we're talking about building habits for success. All right. And our focus is for the next 2 weeks is going to be on discipline, budgeting, and financial literacy. All right. Our scripture that we're going to, our foundational scripture for the next couple of weeks is Proverbs 21:5, which says, "The plans of the diligent leads surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." And so the scripture tells us that if you dragging your feet, if you're lazy, if you're procrastinating, and you're not being about it, you're not grinding, it says that you're going to come to poverty. And so the walk in six figures, he talks about abundance. Um, you have to grind. It's not going to fall out the sky. You can name it and claim it. You can blab it and grab it, but you got to do the work. You got to do the work that comes with that. Look at what Warren Buffett says. He says it like this: "Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving." Now, I
Yes.
need y'all to hear that. I need y'all to hear that. I need you to hear it. Now, James, did you hear what he said?
Yeah, yeah. No, I put a finger up so everybody knew. Like if you taking notes, that's a note. Like
All
that's
right.
a
Read it for us.
the quote. Do
Yeah.
not save, do not save what is left other spending after spending, but spend what is left after savings.
Now, we know the American way. Most people do it the opposite. I was doing it the opposite, and so I was a part of that until we started doing Financial Fridays, and I started learning. I began to start changing some things around, but oftentimes that's why we never get ahead, is because we're using what's left over, and we're trying to make something, when what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to have vision and purpose first, and then, just like you said with Robert, and what you said with Tyler Perry, they were willing, they had the money that they could have, you know, lived in a house,
Yeah.
but they chose to live in their cars and take the money and put it towards something that was going to be profitable for them. And now at the level that they're living, you know. So what is your thoughts on that when we talk about, you know, uh, not
I think
saving, uh, not spending everything, and then whatever's left, saving it, but being more purposeful in the money that we have, to give it assignment. What's your thoughts?
I understand his statement, but I think a just a different way of looking at it is by assigning the money. Because by assigning the money, I already know what I plan on investing, what I plan on saving. So I do see those aspects. It's just when you assign your money, or when you get in the ability of assigning money, you're not you're not you're not just looking at spending first or saving first. Excuse me. You're looking at the totality of what you're doing. So it's like a whole picture type of thing. I want a new car by the end of the year. I want to buy a house. Well, the house takes priority over the car. So now we write out what it takes to hit these objectives, and then we start assigning money to hit these objectives. So even though I do understand, and I think for basics, it is more wise to save your money and have it assigned than it is just to spend it frivolously. So if I could change the wording up, I'll probably do it that way. It's a lot better to assign your money first, then spend it, versus spending your money and then trying to assign it.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
So
And I think,
another way to look at
okay.
it is that sometimes old school, right?
Hmm.
Old school, old school new Christian or old school bad Christian, however you want to put it. What they'll do is they would get their paycheck, run through it, however they spend it, whether they splurging or they paying, they just splurge through it, and then they come to church and be like, you know what? I got a couple dollars left. Here goes some change, and they just throw it inside and they throw it up and be like, yep, there you go. God, work your magic, right? Versus uh, versus when someone knows that they got paid and that
Hmm.
money is already set aside for Sunday. It's
Okay.
already set aside for Sunday. So no, I still got a bulk of money to play with, but my money is set aside for Sunday.
Hmm.
I'm not reaching in my cup holder and old school's ashtray. I'm not reaching in my ashtray to try to get some change to throw inside the to throw in the collection plate and saying God work magic. No, I'm already doing what God has already purposed for me to do and what I am cheerfully giving. Right? Those things are already done prior to Sunday. So now we
Okay.
get to Sunday and everything is already falling in line. And people wonder why people be blessed sometimes. And why is that dude always blessed? Easy. God is first in my life. Everything else is second.
And we're gonna get to that because it's important for us to acknowledge that uh, when it comes to understanding that money has a lot of power. You know what I mean? But if you don't have control over that money, then it'll just go. And that's why what we're talking about tonight is so very important. And that is tonight we want to talk about um, this whole idea of budgeting, this whole idea of budgeting. And you have a formula that you created that God downloaded to you,
Yeah.
and it's been a formula that you've been using for a while. How long you been using this formula?
Going on about 20 years now.
About 20 years, and
Yeah.
it have allowed you to be very successful, you
Yeah.
know. And so, if people is like me as an average person, if you will, for the sake of saying it's nothing about me average, but I'm saying as a person that does things like a lot of other people. When it comes to the whole idea of budgeting, when I used to think about budgeting, I used to think about budgeting as something painful. It was very tedious. It was a lot of work involved. And, I never really saw it as a big benefit until we started the Financial Fridays. And Financial Fridays, my task was provide the spiritual part, and your task was provide the natural. And so you have the evidence in your life, and you have the physical, and, I have the spiritual in the scriptures. And so as we begin to marry those things together, I began to learn a lot of different things. And so let's do this. Let's listen at a video by Dave Ramsey, and then I want to talk about six reasons um, why we need to budget,
Oh yeah.
and then we want to do a live workshop with budgeting and give James a chance to take us through what has been successful for him, and then we'll see if there's a way that we can take some questions and do some answers. But watch this video with Dave Ramsey.
Can you sit down and do your dadgum budget, maybe for the first time in your life? Put your income for the month at the top of the page and then give every dollar an assignment. I will promise you two things will happen. Number one thing will happen is that you will feel like you got a raise because you will go, where is all this freaking money going? It's going to blow your mind how much you waste. And the second thing that's going to happen is you're going to get a sense of peace instead of a sense of anxiety. Even though you've actually done nothing with money yet, now you've actually executed a plan that says, if I take these 17 steps, I'm going to be free. And as soon as you see the steps in front of you and you realize they're doable, your anxiety goes down, your stress level goes down, your peace level goes up, and you kind of just slick your hair back and go, okay, let's get about the business of doing this. Can you sit down?
Yeah.
So,
That's,
so,
I'm in
so
100% agreement of that.
did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
You know, now I don't know what I got going on now. I think look like I'm moving in slow motion or something.
just a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Let me click on a couple things and see if I can
So
see if it
what
change
he
up.
was talking about, I am 100% in agreement with. Um, what people don't know is that I think the Bible says it best, right? It was like, if you don't follow the system, you have holes in your pocket, right? You just have holes in your pocket. And the easiest way to say that is when you don't have an assignment for your money, other people do.
Okay.
If you don't understand how your money flows, don't worry, other people do.
hmm
If you don't know where to place your money, don't worry, somebody else already got that already situated. And if you don't believe me, Google it. The marketing dollars that they put inside communities is in the billions, not millions. They're putting billions of dollars into marketing. Well, why is that? It's because for every $1 or $2 billion they're putting in, they're expecting to get 2 times that amount back, or sometimes 3 times that amount back. And that's not to include if something gets hot or it gets, they call it viral.
Okay.
So now they're making 10 to 100 times what they put in inside marketing dollars,
hmm
and they're expecting you to do that because you don't have an assignment for your money.
Yeah. Now that's powerful right there. Can you hear me? It looks like my screen is messing up.
Oh no, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, that's a very powerful statement because a lot of times we don't realize that somebody have a plan for money. That even though money may be tight for you as an individual, money is not tight in the world. Money is still flowing. Money is still in abundance. Some of the systems have changed, and some of the different things that we used to get money from change because we have evolved, if you will, but it's still plenty money out there. And if we don't have financial literacy, if we don't understand how money works and how to use money to our advantage and how to make money work for us, then James just laid it out for us. Somebody else do. Somebody else do. And so you said, well, Pastor, Brother James, why should we budget? Why should we budget? Well, there's 6 reasons that we should budget. Number one reason is because budget budgeting provides a plan for our money.
Yes.
All right. So that my money is just don't come in and go out. What Dave Ramsey said is when you put it down in the budget, you don't even have to work the budget before you will see results right away
Yeah.
from the standpoint that you will be wondering why in the world, where's all of this money gone? All right. And we read it in Proverbs. He says the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty or lazy or procrastinate only comes to poverty.
Yeah.
All right.
Now I can't emphasize that enough, or I I can't make that any more plainer than the way he did it.
Mhm.
Just by putting money on a sheet of paper, how much money you actually bring in, how much you plan on going out. Just by doing that, your mind opens. Like it sounds
Yes.
crazy, and then you feel. Then I think the best way to put it is when you do that, you're finally hitting the starting blocks.
Okay.
The moment you, instead of just thinking about it, instead of just having it in your head and going, well, I know my money is. Yes, I know. Everybody knows where their money is. It's gone. That's where it is. It's gone. Everybody knows where your money is. It's always gone. It's always in a place until it is moved. But when you write it down and you are assigning it, hey, guess what? I got 3 checks came in today. I This is what I plan on doing, right?
Mhm.
Now you can be ahead of the curve because you're not just thinking about it. Now you have a plan for your money. And one
Okay.
big thing I've always talked about is assigning your money a task.
Hmm.
Because if you assign it and you're diligent about the assignment,
Excuse me.
you can start executing on that assignment a lot more effectively. So yes, I am in crazy agreement that if everyone, and I do mean everyone, even to include me, this ain't just,
Mhm.
I don't just exclude myself, but if you legitimately write down your income, and from writing down your income, you write down how much you got going off. This is how you start figuring out like I do have too much money coming in, or I don't have enough money coming in, and this is what my money is doing or what my money is not doing. So
Okay.
yes, those things are hilarious.
So listen, let's do this. Now, if you got a copy of the book, that means I should have your email. And for those of you who got a copy of the book, I'm going to drop these 6 reasons. I'm going to email these to you because I want us to get into the budget. We at 42 now. I wanted us to get into the budget, and so, if we have time, I'll drop back and look at some of these reasons, some more of these reasons. But we really have said enough about why budgets are important, and how budgets can help you, and just to finish out providing a plan for your money. Dave Ramsey, he says a budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. And so if you're
Yes.
going to be a 6 figure, you're going to have to know where your money is going. And a budget is what does that. Now, I'm going to drop that. If you order the book, it's only $20, and the link is there. If you ordered the book, I have your email address. I'll drop in this 6 reasons to budget. Now, I want us to go into what a budget really looks like. And so, James, let's look at a budget, and we want to use the formula. Now, before you put that up there, let me just the formula. So the formula that James uses that has been successful for him has been 10% to God, 10% taxes, 40% living expenses, 20% investing, 10% savings, 5% paying down debt, and 5% for fun and mental health. And so we're going to take that budget, and we're going to actually do a budget using that formula so that you can see how that looks. Come on, James. Let's walk through that budget, and then let's let them see in real time what that budget look like.
Okay. So hopefully everybody can see this. So we have the budget. This is just an example. Everyone gets the same budget formula or budget worksheet. Okay, here we go. So this is exactly what the pastor just went over. 10% is to God. 10% is going to the country. 40% is what you're living off of. 20% is going towards your investment. 10% is for your safety. 5% is to accelerate what you got going on, and another 5% is for your sanity. Now the comments I wrote is tithes and offering, your taxes, your lifestyle is 40% of what you bring in, your future. Now, the first three, God, country, and living, is what a lot of people like to focus on. But what people don't focus on is the bottom four, your future. If you think working a job and going home is all that you can do, you're gonna lose out on your future. Your future is gonna go, because tomorrow will come tomorrow. And 10 years is just tomorrow. It will fly by in a blink of an eye if you don't have a plan for it. So that's the first 20 is for your future. The next one is your emergency fund. They have tons of reports that people can take and think about it. Your emergency fund needs to be able to float you in case of emergencies. So many times emergencies come up and they sink everybody, or they sink the entire family, because there is no emergency fund put together. The next one is accelerate. Accelerate is really important because by doing that, you're pulling yourself out of debt a lot faster. So instead of asking someone for a handout, you become your own handout. And that's really important for handout, for acceleration. And the last one is sanity. Even though it's the last one on the list, it's just as important as your future. Being able to relax and be able to be sane and sit in your own comfort allows you to forego the trials that tomorrow will bring. So you want to make sure you put money aside to relax. Now, in this example, you have the estimates, which come in off of the money, and you have the actual, which comes in off of what you're actually putting aside. So let's get into it. This is built with you in mind. So whether you have two income streams or you have one income stream, you have four slots on either side to put in how much money you got. So whether you do 500 or 200, right? So when you look at this, this is for all of these estimates are based off the $7,808. And I want to be very clear. If you want to take out a number, right? You want to take out an income, because some people do bring in $4,731.02. Now, when you do that, remember the government is going to take theirs. They're about 10%. So we can always, in all of the budgets, all of these spreadsheets for the entire year is at the bottom. You can go through all of them and make your adjustments. So if you look at the estimate tells you for the income of 7,400 that 10% is going to God, 10% is going to the country. So you look at your tithes and offerings, and it's whatever you want it to be. Okay. So we're gonna go with $500. Charity is gonna be $20. All right. And now when you look at your tithes, offering, charity, it comes up $520. That's your actual, the net that you gave, and that is 10.99%. When it goes to the government taxes are typically around 10%. So we're gonna go ahead and reduce this down to $473. Okay. Now, when you look at your paycheck, you're looking not just for the deductions, but you're looking for your insurance, which is inside your paycheck, and your retirement, or your 201, your 401, your IRA, all that is inside your paycheck. However, let's say that you don't do any of that. You can eliminate all of these amounts and look at your deductions and just say, well, $700 is going to that, right? $700. Or you could say 600, because you don't have to dive into it if you don't want to. Whatever amount you put in is the amount that the computer is going to spit out to you. Now, this is the one in which I think it's very pertinent that we are mindful of these things. There's a lot of things that we can put on here, but I put rent or mortgage, groceries, we energies, which is gas and electric. If you have student loans, put those on. If you don't have student loans, you can eliminate this and you can type in credit cards, right? This is very doable and it has the ability for you to work everything in. You also have your car loans. If you drive a car, you can do car insurance. If you don't, you can also put in bus or transportation. There go gas and your phone, and your totals are right here. If you was to take this number, $1,200 for rent and mortgage, plus these accessories, you'll be around $2,400. This $2,400 here goes up to living expenses of $2,400 here. So based on the income of $4,700, you're spending $2,400 just in living. That means you're around 51% you're spending for a living. Let me let you know that is not a bad thing to be at 51%. You want to, your target is or needs to be 40%. But you want to you want to put this stuff in so you know what you're looking at. Just by looking at it, you are becoming more aware of your funds. So I'm not telling you to change anything. I'm telling you to look at it first. And once you look at it, then you allow yourself to start making changes. But the goal is to look at it and understand that your money is leaving your pockets. When you get from there, then you got your future. Now, I cannot express this enough because this is something that is very near and dear to me. When it comes to your investments are to be used for your future when you are no longer working. When I say that, it doesn't mean that you can't pick up a part-time job or you can't pick up like a librarian or it can be a crossing guard. But when you're actively engaged and now you're taking a step back to do something different, you want to have money in play or in place that can be able to secure your transition. That's your future investments. My future investments is typically real estate. However, it could be whatever you want it to be. So it could be a mechanic, car dealership. It could be a cosmetologist. It could be a masseuse. Whatever you want it to be, that's what you're investing in. Or like one thing I said previously is that you can also invest in someone else's idea and you can become a silent partner in that idea. But if you look at your investments, right now you're about $1,600 for an investment. If you want to, you can always decrease your investment or you can start off small. By doing that, you now have a better opportunity to start putting things in order. Okay. When you go from that chart, you go up to here. How much do you want to put into safety? According to the computer, you can put $473. So let's make it $400. And you're at 8.5%. Well, how much are you accelerating? Now, remember, this is a more of a catch-all. If you have no credit cards and no debt that you currently have, then you will move your acceleration into your investments. But if you do have credit cards, you want to put more money towards those credit cards, or you're going to put more money towards your safety net, or you want to put more money towards your lifestyle to help decrease it. That's what acceleration is for, to pull you out of those situations so you can better serve yourself or better put yourself in a better situation to serve others. The last one is also sanity, and we're going to do 200 for sanity. So right now, if you was to look at how much money you have going in and out in this example, just this example, you will be around $4,700 going in, with rent being about $1,200. You're about 51% in your lifestyle. Your government at $600 brings you at 12.68, and your tithes, offerings, and charities bring you at around 10.99. That means the top percentage is God, country, and lifestyle. You're at 75%. The remaining investments for your future, your safety net, accelerating to get you out of debt or to build up your lifestyle, and 5% is sanity, 5% for your sanity, correction, puts you at 96.13%. So that leaves you with an additional or about 4% left. And that's when you want to go back to the drawing board and say, where can I place this money? Well, I may want to go with a bigger safety net. And now I'm at 500. And I still have another 2%. So let's make it 2%. That's what I would like everyone to do. So as you plug in your numbers, if you start seeing that you have more money, then you have if you have more money than you have month, then you're good. If you have more month than you have money, then you're bad. And the key point of this is that sometimes we do things that take money out of our pocket without us knowing. Oh wow, that is the so that's with buying stuff or getting rid of stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, that time flew by real
Well, it
quick.
did. It actually did. But that was very, very good. And listen, I hope you all got that. Now, for those of you who purchased the book, I'm going to drop in, I'm going to email you the 6 reasons for budget. And then I'm also email you this template that James made up that he just took us through. And all you have to do is fill in the blank. Up there where it says summary, I put in Burns family budget. That's what I put on mine. And I might change it to Burns 6-figure budget. But all you got is very easy to use. If you got Excel, you just bring it up, type in the numbers, you get all your bills together, and you just go start typing them in, and then calculate all by itself. You can't beat that. All right. And then, so we're going to spend 2 weeks on this. So next week, we're going to talk about a little more about, now that I got my numbers in the budget, now what do I do? All right. And we're going to make sure we understand the importance of discipline. But we'll do that on next week. Listen, your homework this week is to track every dollar that you spend this week, um, to identify the areas that you need to improve. Like Dave Ramsey said, once you put it in there, you see all of this money and you'll be like, where is this money going? And so then we want you do your budget. Then we want you to look at and look at those areas, highlight those areas where you're spending a lot of money or you have money going that you don't know where it's at. And then this week we want you, we'll talk about that next week, financial literacy. We out of time. James, what's your closing comments?
Sorry about that, y'all. Hey, I'll catch you later.
Sorry about it. That was very good. That was very good. No, that was good. So ain't nothing to be sorry about. That was very educational. All right. So try it again. What you gonna say?
Hey, I'll see you. I'll see you next week.
All right.
All right.
Listen, thanks again for tuning into Financial Friday. We dropped the email in the chat. Make sure you upload your vision board so that we can look at it. We look forward to seeing you on next week. God bless you. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you there.